$1,000 used to mean something in America. You could cover rent for a month, fill your fridge for weeks, maybe even put a little aside. In 2026, there are cities where $1,000 does not even cover a week of housing. One city on this list charges more for infant childcare than it does for a one-bedroom apartment. Another has utility bills that regularly cross $1,000 a month, just for electricity. And the city at number 1, it is not the one you think. It is cheaper on paper than half this list, and that is exactly what makes it the worst trap of all. Subscribe if you like keeping your money. Let's break it down. Number 10. Los Angeles. The city everyone is literally running away from. Los Angeles sits at 149.3 on the C2ER Cost of Living Index, with housing costs 131% above the national average. Average household spending hits $90,594 per year. A one-bedroom in central Los Angeles runs about $2,940 a month. A dozen eggs costs $7.85. Gas is $4.73 a gallon, and you are going to need a lot of it because this is a car city from end to end. There is a reason LA topped the PODS list of cities people are fleeing. Since 2018, 441 businesses have relocated their headquarters out of California entirely. $1,000 here covers about 10 days of rent. Congratulations, you have got 20 more days to figure out. And if you think California is overpriced, wait until you see what Seattle charges for utilities alone. Number 9. Seattle, Washington. The second most expensive city in America by total household spending. BLS data puts average annual spending here at $109,460. Housing alone eats $37,970 a year, and monthly utilities hit $274, the highest in this entire dataset. A one-bedroom in central Seattle runs from $2,200 to $2,500 a month. Seattle does have the highest purchasing power of any city on this list, at 147.5 on Numbeo's scale, but that number is built almost entirely on tech salaries. For the half of Seattle that does not work in tech, these prices still apply. The paycheck does not. Number 8. San Diego, the sleeper pick. Nobody warns you about. Average home price is $1.16 million. San Diego's rent index of 78.4 is the third highest in North America, behind only New York and San Francisco. A one-bedroom runs $2,800 to $3,200 a month. Monthly utilities hit $250. What separates San Diego from its Bay Area neighbors is a more moderate income base. Salaries do not stretch as far here, and nobody told the landlords. Number 7. Washington, D.C., where your childcare bill equals your rent. Washington, D.C. has the most expensive childcare in any state or territory at $24,886 a year. That's about $2,020 a month, roughly the same as a one-bedroom apartment. Annual household spending hits $108,215, the third highest nationally. Restaurant prices sit at 95.4 on Numbeo's index, nearly matching Manhattan. High earners in the federal workforce absorb the costs, and everyone else faces the same prices without the GS-15 salary. Would you move somewhere knowing childcare alone would cost you $25,000 a year? Drop it in the comments. Number 6. Boston, Massachusetts, America's childcare cost capital. Raising one child in the Boston metro costs $37,758 a year, the highest in the country. Only 8.1% of Massachusetts families can actually afford infant care. A one-bedroom apartment in central Boston runs about $3,580 a month. Healthcare costs sit 34% above the national average. One parent posted online that none of their friends in Boston can afford 2 kids, and some cannot afford any. Boston area Reddit communities beat out 29 other major city subreddits for the sheer volume of cost of living complaints. That is not a ranking you want to win. Number 5. San Jose, where $500,000 a year still feels tight. Smart Asset calculated that a family of 2 parents and 3 children needs $478,630 a year to live comfortably in San Jose. The mean home price is $1,945,454. Only 10% of local households can afford a median-priced new home. A one-bedroom runs about $3,170 a month. Even the Metro's median household income of roughly $148,000, the highest among large US cities, barely clears the comfortable threshold for a single adult. Add a spouse and kids, and you're underwater fast. If your city requires $500,000 a year just to feel okay, is that a city or a subscription service? Let me know in the comments. Number 4. San Francisco. Childcare. Literally costs more than rent. BLS data shows average annual household spending of $117,578 in San Francisco, the highest of any measured metro in the country. Infant childcare runs $31,544 a year. Median annual rent is about $29,028. Childcare costs more than housing. A Zillow economist calculated that skipping your daily coffee to save for a down payment on a median San Francisco home would take 240 years. The city lost roughly 34,000 residents since 2020, and California's Department of Finance projects it may never fully recover. Number 3. Honolulu, Hawaii, where paradise comes with a grocery index of 118. Nearly 90% of goods in Hawaii have to be shipped in, and every item on the shelf reflects that. A gallon of milk runs $7 to $8.64. A dozen eggs cost $6 to $7.48. One viral TikTok showed half a watermelon priced at $24. Monthly utility bills frequently top $1,000, sometimes reaching $1,200, the highest in America. Average energy bills alone hit $394 a month versus the national average of $147. Honolulu has the lowest local purchasing power of any major expensive city, which means salaries are disproportionately weak compared to what everything costs. A single parent with 2 kids needs $54.33 an hour just for basics. Hawaii's minimum wage is $14. One longtime resident put it simply, "Living in paradise is not paradise when you can't afford milk." Number 2. New York City. Manhattan specifically. Manhattan's C2ER index is 230.6. That is more than double the national average and 72% more expensive than San Francisco. The median one-bedroom apartment hit an all-time record of $5,140 a month in September 2025. A 3-bedroom averages $12,407. Over the past 5 years, New York City rents climbed 47.4%, the largest increase in the country. A monthly MetroCard costs $133. A dozen eggs costs $7.19. Parking in Midtown runs $700 to $900 a month, and a single parking spot in a luxury condo building can sell for $300,000 to $350,000. Perhaps the most telling statistic of all is this. A 55-square-foot apartment in Manhattan with no private bathroom rents for $1,400 a month. That is your entire $1,000 plus another $400 for a space smaller than most walk-in closets. So if Manhattan is number 2, what could possibly be worse? Here is the thing. Worse does not always mean more expensive. Sometimes worse means more unfair. Number 1. Miami, Florida. On paper, Miami's cost of living index of 120.9 looks almost reasonable compared to the cities above it. And that's the trap. Miami does not have San Francisco's tech salaries. It does not have Manhattan's finance money. It does not have Seattle's purchasing power. Miami combines near coastal elite prices with Sunbelt incomes, and the result is the worst affordability ratio in the country. The Miami Metro's rent-to-income ratio is 45.42%, the highest in America. A staggering 63.1% of Miami renters are cost-burdened, also the highest nationally. The median household income is just $66,000 $337, well below the national median of $83,730. Yet a one-bedroom apartment runs $2,500 to $2,800 a month. An inexpensive restaurant meal costs $30, the highest of any city on this list. Every other city on this list at least has the excuse of high salaries partially offsetting the damage. Miami does not. It charges Manhattan restaurant prices on a paycheck that would not cover rent in half the cities above it. $1,000 in Miami covers about 12 days of rent. And the median renter is already spending nearly half their income just to keep a roof over their head. That is not a cost of living problem. That is a cost of surviving problem. You just watched 10 cities where $1,000 evaporates before you can blink. If you're thinking about relocating, the sticker price of a city is only half the story. The real question is what your paycheck looks like after the bills hit. Subscribe so you see this data before your real estate agent conveniently forgets to mention it. And trust me, next week's video is worse.